Now let's talk some sports. The 20th National Sports Festival kicked off on Tuesday in Edo State, the host. Although plans to halt the sports festival arose, that has been resolved. So, why did this happen in the first place? Let's take a look at the importance of such a sports festival as the National Sports Festival Edo 2021, among other things this morning. Bomiana Musa joins us virtually. He's Project Manager, Media and Communications of the National Sports Festival Edo 2021. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. People would naturally be curious what happened that almost jeopardized the sports festival taking place in Edo.
Hello?
Please go ahead. Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes.
Yes, we were pushed to take in that decision, painful but necessary at that point, because the games were postponed on 3 different occasions. And the sports ministry, in fact, the federal government had the understanding with the state government and LOC that when the games are postponed, they will assist the state to underwrite some of the costs of the postponements. It became a ding-dong affair. We are working on paperwork, we are doing on this, we are following it up and all that. Even on the eve of the commencement of the games, we were told that something was going to come from Abuja. And it never came until we started the game. Midweek through the games, our vendors, especially the food vendors, insisted that they must be paid before they continue. The LOC chairman, who is deputy governor of Edo State, right, had to plead with them that they should continue. Other vendors were on our necks over payment. So we were cash-strapped. So we had no option than to say the games be suspended or be put on hold, pending when something will come from Abuja.
Well, I don't know if any findings have been made as to why the delay had to happen in the first place, because I believe there was a conversation, there was an agreement, and there was some signing to validate that indeed that funding is going to come. Have we been able to track the reason that what should have happened didn't happen, that necessitated the action of Edo State government?
Yeah, the reasons were not too clear to us. Some of us believe that the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development were up to something, so to speak, because they were playing hide and seek games with us, the LOC and the state government. They never really brought us to the picture as to what was happening until it became a public issue and the presidency had to intervene. So, I don't know, maybe they are in a better position to tell us why they were hiding so many things from us as the host state and as the LOC members.
Any word from the Minister of Sports in particular about that occurrence?
No, they were still justifying their actions. He said we told the whole world that the ministry should be held responsible, and not the federal government and not the whole state, if anything happened and the games were suspended. So they were still not forthcoming as to why they should apologize to the country, to the youths of this country.
Okay, so if you say, yes, if you say that the issue has been resolved, to what extent? What was the resolution?
To the extent that there was this presidential intervention. You know, by the time the vice president intervenes, the president intervenes on an issue, including the chief of staff to the president and the secretary to the government of the federation, was Mustafa. You know, it's not an intervention you take lightly. We don't take it lightly. We hold it strongly that it was nothing more powerful than that, unlike what we were being told before by the ministry. So that was why we believe we should continue the games, and we had continued. The offices of the MOC have been thrown open. The games continue.
From your standpoint as media and communications manager of this project, how significant was that challenge of funding on the entire identity and personality of the National Sports Festival?
I must tell you that it was a big dent on the organizer, that is the ministry. We are not the organizers, we are only hosting, because there must be a clear-cut arrangement, I mean, as to who to do what. And everybody, both the host and the organizer, that's the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, should do their own side of the bargain. If we, despite the 3 postponements, we were ready to hold the games, we had all facilities in place, we had the equipment in place, all the states converged on Edo, we have been feeding them in the last 7 days before we got hooked somewhere financially. We had to cry out. I think we have made our own part of the commitment of the bargain by hosting the entire country, youth of this country. They converged on us, we fed them for 7 days. We housed them for 7 days. This cost money. If we are going to that extent, without a dime from the organizers, I think we've met our own part of the deal. It's a lesson to the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development that before games have to start, you have to meet your own part of the commitment so that you don't embarrass the country, you don't embarrass the youth of Nigeria.
Now, some might also be suggesting perhaps this action or inaction is a suggestion as to how significant, how important or not the National Sports Festival is to the country.
Anybody who has the interest of Nigerian youths at heart should recognize the importance of hosting the games. The games were instituted shortly after the Civil War to unify this country, to put the people of this country together. Politics aside, religion aside, ethnicity aside, this is about the biggest assemblage of people, of youths of this country. 35 states, including the whole state and FCT, converge in one venue, in one state, to interact on the basis of sports. All sports, 38 sports are being contested for. Gold, silver, and bronze are being won. Youth of this country are here. So any government that believes and takes the interest of the youth to this country, they know the importance of hosting these games and make sure it holds every year as agreed ab initio.
This action is a suggestion, some might say is a suggestion that, okay, well, maybe the government is not taking the youth of this country serious. And as you said, if it was instituted to create a bond of unity, and this then happens, some might begin to concoct that maybe this is a suggestion that, you know, the sports festival is not as important, or the youth of this country is not as important. How do we then begin to bridge the gap that has been created by this action or inaction?
Yeah, we start the stage, we set a kind of template that we as a people in Edo, we hold Nigerian youth in high esteem. That was why we went out of our way to put everything in place to make sure the games kick off on the 2nd as agreed, because we believe the youth holds the future of this country. But if some people or somebody somewhere does not believe in that, then it's unfortunate.
Well, let me again tail back on something that you said earlier about the purpose for which the sports festival was created. Away from that, the challenge that, you know, has been conquered now, how much do you think the sports festival has been able to live up to the objective for which it was created?
Yeah, to a large extent, the objective for which it was created has been met. For instance, in 2018, Abuja hosted the nation's capital, where all states came together. As we speak now in Edo, all the 35 states are here. The youths of 35 states are here. They have been interactive since on the 2nd of this month. Friendship, acquaintances are being struck. Some people are going to be life partners arising from these games. Youths of this country now know that ethnicity, religion notwithstanding, Nigeria is one. You can intermarry, you can create friendship across the divide, across religious or ethnic divide. That's why I said it's a unifying force. This is one thing that binds us together as a country, as a people, regardless of where you come from. And an Igbo man will not say, oh, you are Hausa, I will not stay with you in the same hostel, or I will not stay with you on the same track, or I will not play football with you. By the time you skip and fall on the top, if you hold your hand, we pull you up. Boy, stand, let's continue the games. That is essence.
You've raised a very, very valid and very strong point in that there is no segregation as far as sports is concerned. We all contest on the same pitch, on the same track. How do we then take the lesson of unity from Edo State to the 35 other states as well as the FCT?
We, like I said earlier on, we sent a template. We have told the whole world, we cried out that nobody should play games with the games. That we should not play politics with games, regardless of where you come from, regardless of the whole state, whether you belong to the ruling party or not. Games should be games. We set a template. All the states should copy Edo, whether you belong to the ruling party or not. When you bid, you win the hosting rights. All the country should support you. The federal government should support you to make sure you succeed. Because what you are doing is in the interest of this country, it's in the interest of the youth of this country. Religion, politics, ethnicity, notwithstanding.
What viable lessons would you be advising the youths themselves to sustain the ethos of unity? They have contested, or they are contesting, and when all the competitions are done, some have been done, gone, won, lost, and then they have to leave Edo State. What is the message that Edo State is giving them to take to their various states?
The message they should take home from this festival is that message of love, message of unity, message of oneness. No religion, no ethnicity, no nothing. That Nigeria is one, whether you're from the north, you are from the east, or you are from the west, or you are a Yoruba man, you are an Igbo man, you are Saga. We are one as a country. We should see ourselves as such.
Bomiana Musa, Project Manager, Media and Communications, National Sports Festival Edo 2020. Thank you so much for your time and your thoughts this morning.
Thank you for giving me the time to speak with you on this channel.